So please welcome all to Rojin Agentic Age Tech. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, pitch.
Hi, I'm Carlos, and this is my friend Giovanni, and we are from the Rojin team. The guy in the picture is my grandfather, Roman. He was a very proud inventor. He made a lot of machines from the battling industry. I would really love to have a talk with him to know about his designs and his methodology. But unfortunately, he had a tragic accident at home. He was taking a shower, he slept in the bathtub, and he fell. And when my family realized of that, it was really too late. With the technology we have developed, his death could be avoided. This is my Aunt Rosa, a very lovely woman. She lives in Buenos Aires. She's 82 years old. Her husband passed away 5 years ago due to COVID, and she has no kids. When I was a little kid, she takes care of me because my parents work away. And nowadays, I take care of her. And, you know, being here is for me a bit overwhelming because I'm far away from Buenos Aires, where she lives. She also lives in the same house where my grandfather passed away, with the same bathroom. And I don't have a way to monitor his well-being being here. So that's, and I have a question for you. How many Rosas, how many Marias, and how many Romans are in your family? Giovanni.
Okay, when we saw that, we start to investigate to MIT Design X, this methodology, and we found two specific problems. Actually, not one, two specific problems. One specific for the majority people or the senior people and the familiaries. And with these problems that we have, we created one solution to put together. The name of the solution is Rojin. But what is Rojin? Rojin is a product at the end that we have different devices or 3 devices to measure information for the older people and alert for the familiars, all information regarding of these specific problems that they have, detect this information and, you know, make the alert that what is the status of these major people. And we have 3 specific devices that Carlos will explain.
Okay, thank you. We go beyond the PowerPoint and we build real products. Here we have the products. Then in the break, we are going to make a demo or you could try it. As you know, in the 40s, MIT have developed the radar technology. We honor the institution using that technology in our products. We use milliwave radar technology array to detect from a distance the heart rate, the respiration rate, and the human presence. And we also incorporate in the same box an environmental sensor to check the air quality of the room. That's the first one. The second one is the white one. It's a fall detection sensor. It's the same technology, but it goes on the ceiling or above the ceiling. That's why we have the small ones with no screen. The thing of that technology is that it's not invasive. It could check from the distance, and we use no cameras. Who wants to have a camera in the bathroom or in the bedroom? It's a way too invasive. And we don't use wearables like pendants or a wrist. It's just remotely, ubiquitously. And last but not least, we have our natural voice assistants. It's like an Alexa, but a way too better because we use tropicalized voice with the manners of each of the five countries we are launching. And we also work on a biomarker speech detection for some kind of neural diseases.
Okay, guys, numbers. Our model is model of subscription monthly per month, and then the price $39, and we have separate the sale for every single devices that Charlie mentioned. And what is our strategy? First, B2C, and after that, we will scale to B2B.
Medical insurance will be a place there.
100%.
Okay. Tell me about, yes, the market.
Yeah, we saw in our market, first, the focus is in Latin America in 4 specific countries, Colombia, Peru, Chile, and Argentina. And what is our general market, or reachable market? 14 million of users.
That's a huge impact for people who really need more.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about the competition?
Okay, When we start to see the competition, we saw the advantage that we have with Rojin. The first one is that we have software and hardware at the same time, different from the other competitors.
Natural voice, really easy to talk, like talking to a friend, and
Yeah,
non-invasive. That's a great, and that's our team. We
Yeah.
couldn't do that without the team we have.
That those guys are our inspiration because we have a Rosa, a Roman in our own families.
And finally, to close, Rojin now is about taking care of our loved ones, our families. But think about it, in the near future, we all are going to use Rojin in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
And only as a compliment, this is not only a space to train to know more things, but also for business. We could join Luna in order to work together. We could be, your business channel in order to work together. And this is a great example on what Rojin could do. We could add several functionalities in order to improve the life of the seniors. Sorry for the comment, but we have to talk offline.
Can you go first?
Yes. So a great presentation and motivation for the problem. Incredibly important. I think we need solutions like this. Maybe you can tell me a little bit more about about your competitive advantage. This space is very active. I think there are lots of players. I think even more than beyond what we saw on the slides. So I'm just trying to understand how you plan to compete with big corporations that are trying to enter that space and also with startups.
Yeah, well,
Okay, well, first one in Latin America, we are doing the beachhead market.
Yeah.
It's a very empty space, so we have this advantage at the first time because we were launching. But then we have a huge competition.
Yeah, I want to complement also. I used to live 10 years with my grandfather because I'm not from the capital city of my country. And when you realize about the not using wearables, I don't know, my grandfather has an iPhone and most of the time it has no battery, for instance. He doesn't like to use a watch because he has to charge itself. So I would say the main advantage is related to non-invasive sensors and also this connection to the families. As Carlos said, he's here, he's not with her aunt, so he has this anxiety. I also have the same. I know it's my grandfather and I don't have maybe the responsibility, but I think this intersection between non-wearables and also this peace of mind of family, I think makes a huge difference.
And, my last comment here is, based on our research, we were trying to identify the region in order to deploy that. First of all, Latin America is an underserved, region, for the seniors. But what happened, when we were checking the problem, and probably this is a situation that touched, everyone here. It's not a problem about the seniors. It's about the problem of the family that are taking care of those guys. But in addition, it's a problem of the nurses and all the professionals that are trying to connect with the seniors, because it could be, even like a Uber of professionals, taking care of our seniors. So what Rojin is trying to do is the gatekeeper between seniors, between their families and other professionals that will be taking care of those guys. And the reason why we choose those countries is because the governments, the insurance companies, and everything, all the players around these problems are not, having a platform, for all this ecosystem that we are facing with that solution.
And I have maybe one more question. So it seems like you would need a pretty sizable organization. Imagine, installing all of the systems, in all of the houses, servicing this, every, few, checking if people haven't changed something. So it seems like you would need to build a massive massive organization just to, of technicians that will just.
I will tell you that.
Ah.
All the sensors, we design the sensors, and the production is outsourcing to a Chinese company.
Sure.
And the sensors could be buy online, it's called CD Studio, and it also sells in Amazon. So the sensors could be installed by yourself.
Sure, but they have to be installed properly,
Yes.
and you have to
Yes.
ensure that this is.
When you tell the sensor, it tells about it measures the distance, and it tells you, no, you have to put upward or downstairs. That's a kind of the sensor, the technology that has. And for example, if you want to take my breath here, if I'm not in a correct distance, it will not take. I have to be in the correct
Sure.
distance. It has, and that's important. We only are going to sell the subscription service for ourselves.
I see.
The rest is just outsourcing.
Okay.
If you also think about this as domotic devices, you nowadays you don't need a technician, I don't know, to install the security camera you bought on Amazon. So this has to be, of course, easily to install. Probably the user will be in a sort of saying the seniors, but the customer will be the families. So we expect them to be the ones the most interested on having this well installed.
So on this infrastructure question, I was born in a different country in Latin America, and electricity comes in and out sometimes. Wi-Fi isn't always reliable. And so I'm wondering, maybe these 4 countries where you're starting, that's not as big of a problem, but as you scale across Latin America and other countries, how are you going to be in the infrastructure business too, making sure that there's Wi-Fi and electricity, backup generators? Because otherwise, I'm not going to get the call if my grandmother falls, right?
It could work on battery. Now it's working on a battery. You could put inside a small battery. It works for hours with battery. The consumption is very low.
Okay, great. So that's the
That's
power.
energy.
What about the Wi-Fi?
About the Wi-Fi. Now they're running without Wi-Fi. If they had Wi-Fi, the sensor connects itself. If they have Wi-Fi, they could send information to the cloud and monitor remotely. If they don't have Wi-Fi, they continue working themselves and alerting.
But how do I get an alert then if I'm not local?
Okay.
You're here and
Because
Rosa
If
isn't.
you don't use Wi-Fi, you could use a 4G card inside the devices. But it's an alternative. And that thing, you have to pay another plan. That's one of the issues. But
And are you guys live already? Is this like functional prototype?
it's functional, yes. You could try it. It's working, yes. We have built the technology. We use milliwave radar technology, which it's called beamformation. And with information, we use a point cloud, and with that point cloud, we use Cine machine learning to detect where is the heart and where is the breath, the lungs. So we could infer or we would predict the heart rate and the breath rate. They're not exact. They're not medical devices. They're just to check that you are okay and your vital things are working.
Okay.
To complement a little bit about the Wi-Fi and that, for instance, Chile is one of the countries around the world actually with a better rate of.
Yeah, that I understand, but I'm thinking about you growing and scaling.
That's why when we go further, we have to be really keen on which markets we have to enter due to the constraints you're saying. But also with everything Carlos said, this could work in a sort of saying without a cloud, but of course with a SIM card and everything, you will be able to do this.
And if you're going in the drywall with the bigger sensor, like what does it cost the user, or is that going to be prohibitive? Like if I have to, break my wall to put a sensor in?
Okay, no, that goes. That sensor goes over the desk or where you want, and this also the same. It goes on the ceiling. But if you have a new house and you want your sensor to be over the ceiling, it could be. But you don't use this large with a screen. Use just a small one.
Okay.
You don't need a screen for that.
Okay.
So that's why you use the small one. And the same for this. You could put over your desk, or if you want, you could put this inside your drywall.
Okay.
That's why we don't screen. We don't use a screen for that.
Just to add a little bit, the small ones is specifically for people who doesn't want to be, let's say,
Monitored.
Yeah, monitored. I think every one of us know all people.
Yeah.
They don't want to be controlled. They want to feel independent. Then it's kind of okay. We are safe. You are safe. And then we can still be alerted if something happened.
Thank you.
Thank you.